Yo. So today we are going to be discussing the top 5 list of epic DPS units for Semrah Guild Boss. Came out with the Lego one yesterday. It was very, not the Lego one. We came out with the list yesterday, and it was all Legos. So I had a few comments talking about let's do some epics. So here's that. So first on the list, I'm gonna say this number 5 spot on the list. Um, there was a mix of me not wanting to put like all fighters, and then also not wanting to basically just flood Nightmare units, but for the most part, it is just like Nightmare is like the king of the crop as far as Simrah damage, especially when you're getting like the bonuses from like Lords. It's just so easy for them to do damage. So this one's just kind of like a curveball in there. She does great damage. Esoteric is definitely one of the most niche for this new guild boss, but I think you can do some stuff. I know like Zukanya was running Esoteric week 1. If you have like one of the lords already, you're kind of set. You got Helga, who's coming in, who is an incredible stunner. You have Seraphina, who is an incredible single target damage dealer. But we look at another single target damage dealer from their faction, it is Kina. Um, so when I was kind of doing my first damage testings tonight, I kind of went through and just put Dolores, uh, a fighter, or whoever I was basically testing, like a single target, a healer, and then I just kind of was looking to where they would get down on the stun phase. And Kina, for me, definitely was killing it the fastest. I think she got it down to like 84% by herself, which is pretty crazy for a single target unit. So all she's doing is she's doing a bunch of true damage, so cannot make crit hits. So she has one of the most unique builds in the game. So you could right away, like, you're looking for gear that you wouldn't generally use on anyone. So like generally anytime you're looking for like Soulbound or which what you want her in, you're looking for attack, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, maybe flat attack. Now you're literally just looking for like attack percent, attack speed, and attack, and some rage regen if you can get it on there as well. So definitely a unique gear set situation you need for her. But she can do some pretty crazy damage. I will say, unless you have her A1, she is going to kind of hinder herself because the A1 allows her to not actually stun herself after she comes out of the ultimate. So, would highly suggest getting that one done first before you start using her. So, for ultimate, rapidly attack one random target in range, each hit dealing 50% damage and triggering the talent effect after the ultimate ends, gain stun. And by gain stun, it means stun herself. Increase attack by 20% when there's one or more enemy in range. Each additional one enemy reduces the attack increase effect by 5% down to 15%, and then deals magic damage to one enemy. But as far as her talent goes, cannot make crit hits. Each attack has a 50% chance to deal extra 2 damage equal to 50% of the hero's attack. So if you're just stacking a lot of attack on her, you get that attack up really high, which is what I did with her in Soulbound. She just started melting down. So yeah, she's number 5 on the list. Like I said, I don't know if I would have probably put her on there because I just wanted to have a little bit of difference in the list. But I'll go through some honorable mentions at the end that are equal to, if not better than her as well in here. But definitely wouldn't make a mistake in leveling her up. And if you guys need a second team or something, she's definitely useful there. So she gains attack in the A2. During the ultimate, the interval of rapid attacks reduces by 30%. That's a huge awakening as well. Rage Regen auto to cycle back quicker. And for every 5 instances of damage taken from Kina, enemies receive 1 extra true damage equal to 100% of Kina's attack. So A5 is pretty big as well for damage, so she's not going to take too much damage from the guild boss. She'll take it every once in a while, but so this won't be proccing a whole lot. So mostly you're looking for like the A3. The A3 I think is a significant one, and the A4 to cycle back to her ult quicker. So next on the list, we start into our fighter list. This one could have been higher, could have been lower. Everyone has him. It's Wrath. So Wrath you'll see on a bunch of teams. He's going to bring you the Lord damage. He's going to bring everyone additional damage on the team. He's really easy to build just because his crit rate is so high to begin with. So, like, early game building him is very, very easy. As far as kit goes, auto cast increased damage by 30% for 30 seconds. Additionally, every 3 attack launched triggers an extra attack up to 5 enemy units in range, dealing 90% damage. So he's more of an AoE for sure on his ult, but don't let it confuse you. That single target damage can still be insane. He's also somebody that has extreme survivability once you get him awakened more. So when Heavy Blow is triggered, the hero restores HP equal to 30% of the total damage dealt. So if you are lacking a little bit of healing, he's going to help you out in that aspect of it as well, because he'll do a lot of self-healing for himself. Huge penetration bonus. I think this is like one of the most important ones, especially for fighters and like marksmen. You're just going to see like your damage calc up way quicker with the pen bonus on. Inflicts burning on targets that take AoE damage from Heavy Blow. Great damage over time there, more crit damage, and triggered Soul Basher guarantees a crit hit. So with Wrath, also we just recently got his artifact in game. If you're one of those lucky few that have been going through Void Rift the past few weeks since it came out, and you got that one, it was definitely an insane option for him in Guild Boss. So we have the Pauldrons. Where is that at? Flaming Pauldrons. Increased damage dealt to elites and bosses by 15%. So reduces the effect duration of the ultimate by 10 seconds and increases the damage dealt during the ultimate by an extra 30%. If the AoE attack of Heavy Blow hits only one target, the attack ignores 20% of the enemy's defense. This is a massive artifact to have for him, especially if you're early game or like mid game. You are going to get a ton of damage out of Wrath with this thing on. So definitely keep an eye out on that if you're a Wrath user. I know for the longest time, he was one of my main carries through my account. I still use him today, being an endgame account. So, yeah, Wrath is number 4 on the list. Like I said, he could have been higher or lower. This list definitely isn't perfect. So for number 3, we have one of my new favorite units. I've been using her a ton. She's actually in my APOC 1 team. It is Estrid. So with Estrid, you are getting a huge defense reduction, 20%, books up to 30%. This is going to allow all your fighters, all your physical damage dealers to really start cooking. You're going to see damage increase across the board with everyone with this. She's a great unit to have on the team if you don't have a defense reduction, like just slotting her in there, even if she isn't like in a faction. You're going to see great numbers out of her. She's not going to be the biggest damage dealer, but like I said, she's like buffing everyone else on the team, and it's just going to be an overall better fight for everyone. As far as ultimate goes, increase the attack speed by 70. Each attack deals 240% AoE damage to enemies in range. This effect lasts for 15 seconds. You have the basic attack there, and then like there's the defense reduction we went over. Awakenings, she gets the enhanced basic range, so it goes to 2 tiles. Crit rate. During the effect of Blade Swarm, there's a 25% chance of landing 2 strikes in a row. Just increased damage. Cost doesn't mean anything for Guild Boss. And then Rage Regen, plus 30% against penetrated enemies for 5 seconds. Yeah, so like I said, if you have, like, I've been running a Northern team, I've been running, like, the Rourke, Estrid, and then generally you throw, like, one of the healers in, like, if you have, like, Constance or something and you're running the Sadie, that's great. If you're one of those lucky people that pulled for Falsha, she could be slotted in that team as well. You have the great true damage from, Nocturne in there. So there's a lot of options with the North Throne. It's not your most typical boss team, but I think for Guild Boss 2, if you're just looking to get like that 30k mark, that's a great option for a lot of people. Also, there's Mari in there bringing your physical and magic reduction constantly, and also helping you with stuns. So yeah, North Throne, another great option. Kind of a little bit slept on, I would say. But you will see a lot of the top team, well, not a lot of top teams, but you will see some of the top teams running North Throne with like Falsha. Maybe they're slotting in like a heavy hitter like Ardea or something in there as well. Next on the list has been one of my favorite units for a long time. It was kind of hard to choose between him and Komodo. They were both really high on the list, but all in all, I had to go with my boy. It's Vladov. I have been a Vladov stan for the longest time. He's he was part of my first 50K team. He was part of my he helped me hit 20K originally, and just he kept pushing me higher and higher in Guild Boss. Great champ to invest in early on, mid game even. If you don't have any other bleed options, he is so good at keeping that bleed up. He does really require awakenings; they help him a ton. So you will have to be prepared to invest in those with either your epic soulstones or maybe you pulled a few with pulling ancients. So increase attack speed by 30% for 8 seconds each time, taking damage up to 5 stacks. So he does damage to himself, so this will really start to round up. That's just as basic. When activated, converts 12% of max HP into attack, while losing 10% of current max HP per second. Eliminating a target restores 7% HP. This effect will last for 15 seconds. So essentially, he's just killing himself to do more damage. It's a little hindrance in the Guild Boss 2, but I think if you guys have some decent healers, it's really never a problem. Honestly, if you're running Hollow, it kind of helps Hollow more than anything because it gives her a target to constant heal for a while. So there's that benefit as well. If you have your Hollow cooking, you can basically cycle back to her ult right again with having like a chaos unit like Vladov on the team. For passive, we got 20% chance triggered by attacks, deal 150% AoE damage up to 5 targets in the front semicircle area, and inflicts bleed effect on the targets. This is why he is so useful. This bleed is insane. You will really start to see your physical champs go to work once you have a bleed on the team. The numbers just significantly spike up, no matter what. It's honestly so huge. That's why you're seeing Salazar used in so many teams. He has the bleed from that, and he's also doing a ton of damage. He's basically the Salazar that keeps the bleed up, that doesn't do the damage that Salazar does. So yeah, really just a budget Salazar in general. I don't really ever use him for his Lord bonus. I mostly just slot him into Nightmare, especially in this Guild Boss. I don't think it's as effective, so I would definitely slot him into the Nightmare team more than anything. As far as awakenings go, each basic attack launch has a 10% chance to apply bleed effects on target. This is one of the biggest awakenings. If you don't want to take them all the way to A5, I would definitely suggest getting this. It will rapidly increase your bleed up time, especially if you get them attacking fast enough. Crit rate, once HP drops below 20%, restores 10% HP per second for 5 seconds. This effect can only be triggered 1 time per deployment. Once again, that doesn't matter too much. More attack speed, which is great for him. And then when the talent effect reaches 5 stacks, increase damage by 15%. So this is the other one that you want to shoot for. So A3 is not doing a whole lot for him, honestly. Maybe in some other content it'll help out a little bit more, but as far as Guild Boss goes, very insignificant. The attack speed's okay. Crit rate's okay. Makes it easier to build. But key awakenings you're looking for is A1, A5. Okay, last but not least, we got Deimos. Someone I still use on my Guild Boss team today. He does incredible damage. We just had him on a 15x last weekend. So if you haven't built him up yet, get to it. Definitely worth it. If you didn't pull enough copies, get him in max awakened. He's worth the epic soulstones for sure. You will see a huge jump in your Guild Boss team usually using him. He's great in the Nightmare comp. Get him. Him, Wrath, like A-Bomb, some early game units like that. You're going to have a huge Guild Boss jump as well using them. Basic attack deals additional damage equal to 2% of the hero's max HP. Increase max HP by 100% and attack and defense by 20%. Each basic attack lands 4 consecutive strikes. This effect lasts for 20 seconds. Huge damage coming out of that. And then his passive, each consecutive attack against the same target increases damage by 10% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. The duration of the effect will not be refreshed after reaching the maximum number of stacks. Stacks will reset upon switching targets. And then as far as awakenings go, during the effect of Ancestral Presence, dealing damage restores 3% HT. Some crit rate, tearing cap +1, so you go to 7 times. The penetration, which I said is absolutely huge for these fighters. And then when tearing reaches full stacks, attack ignores 15% of the target's defense. This is the massive awakening for him. But yeah, definitely get your Dymos built out if you're one of the newer players in the game. You definitely won't regret it. As far as I mentioned, I said I would mention some honorable mentions earlier. So first off, I guess we can just stay in there. We have Komodo. Komodo does something very similar to Vladov. You're going to get the bleed. You're going to get a ton of damage. I saw this too. He was actually ranked extremely high in Titanic Ruins. Great champ in there. But definitely, if you guys are missing some fighters or need some damage slot in and you're running the Nightmare comp, he's a great suggestion for that. As far as that, there's no other Nightmare units. You can maybe use Damon, but or is it Damon? Yeah, Damon. I probably wouldn't suggest it though. Navras, no. Curse Cult, there's nothing. Infernal. Amani could be a suggestion. I know she's a better guild boss champ regular. She's one I didn't really get to mess with because I had to fully skill her. Fully skill her and awaken her, so I didn't get to fully test on her. But I just don't see her being as good as one of the fighters or even Kalina, for instance. That's the one thing too, is getting these platform spots is pretty hard, especially if you're running the multiple supports, you're running the attack booster like Dolores or something, and then you have maybe you have one of the significant tile fighters like Silas or Nocturne or something like that. Your tile spaces become far and few in between. Lunaria is another one I could have mentioned. I don't think she's going to do the craziest damage, but she will bring a lot if you're using several piercers on the team. You'll see a jump in that. But yeah, like I said, I don't think she's going to do crazy damage there. Vargas was another one that was mentioned very high in here, but I tested him and I couldn't get him going. I threw him in some really good gear. Maybe some other people have better luck with him, but yeah, the only thing I've ever found him useful for was GR3. I did a video on him back in the day. Yeah, so you guys could definitely try him out and let me know if you're somebody that uses him already. Let me know why, because like I said, I tested him out quite a bit and I couldn't get him to do a whole lot of damage. So I'm interested in how this is so high. Other than that, I think we got them all. Nazim, I already mentioned. He's more of a stunner. Kalina was on the list. Yeah, so that's it. That is my top 5 for the epics. In the next few days, I will have both my key. I'm going to be working on a Helga guide because I think Helga is going to be insane in Guild Boss. If you haven't watched it yet, go check out the Styx run I did yesterday where I got #1 with her. Definitely start investing in her right away. Skills are worth it as well. Yeah, but I'm going to do a Praetus meta comp that's going to be like 140 million or 140,000 damage, maybe more hopefully. And then I'm going to also be trying to do my run on my account with the new Solkadin's Helga team. And I'm going to be aiming for 80k on that team. But yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you guys for all the support again. The last couple days have been absolutely insane. We've been catching algo. We've been getting a lot of followers. We've been having a lot of comments. It's been great. Yeah, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.